Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm here with Dylan Bowman. It's a couple days before the 2018 Tarawera Ultramarathon. Hey, we're in New Zealand.
Sweet as.
You're apparently supposed to say that here.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I try and pick up as many of the Kiwi, Aussie words as I possibly can while I'm down here.
Yeah, this is not unfamiliar space to you. You were here 3 years ago. You're the 2015 Tarawera champion.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, 2015 came down. It was kind of my first big international win, at least. I had a great day and lots of good memories and met a lot of good friends, and it worked out to come back this year, so I'm happy to be back.
So the last time we spoke on camera with you was back in 2016. So we need like a 2017 season refresh. You had a year.
Yeah, well, last year was great in that, I kind of focused on 100 milers, and that was a little bit unintentional. Basically, I needed 6 points for UTMB because UTMF had been rained out the year before.
Right.
So I went to Istria on the World Tour in April, had a really good race there, and that gave me the points I needed for UTMB. And then UTMB was an amazing day, incredible racing. I was really satisfied with 7th place, but definitely feel like I can go back and improve there, which is a good feeling. And then I tried to close the year last year at Ultra Trail Cape Town, and unfortunately got a little bit of a stomach bug the day before the race and wasn't able to do it. But yeah, it was a really cool event. I was happy to be able to see it, and I'll look forward to going back there. But that was my year, and yeah, so I haven't raced since UTMB, so it's been a little while. I'm looking forward to knocking the rest off and feeling fresh.
Yeah, so I think going into Ultra Trail Cape Town back in December, you had trained quite hard for that?
I wouldn't say I trained that hard for it. I trained for 4 or 5 weeks,
Okay.
really hard, but I wasn't doing major mileage.
Okay.
It was more so I think I was still benefiting from the huge training I did for
Sure.
UTMB. So I was doing short intervals, 70, 75 miles a week, so nothing super.
Shorter, faster quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my body really responded well to it, and just because it was so different to the UTMB slog training in Aspen. So it was, yeah, it was.
Slog training.
I was feeling really, really good. I was feeling really primed for the race. So it was a shame that I got sick, but that's part of the game.
Yeah.
And Ryan Sands was there, and same thing happened to him at Western States a couple years ago too. So yeah, it happens. It's part of the game, but disappointing, and hopefully it will give me motivation for this weekend.
Yeah, so talk about kind of like that tricky part of, you probably thought that after Ultra Trail Cape Town you were going to like sit on your couch, put your feet up, watch a little sports on TV, but yeah, you come home sort of fresh still. Did you end up still taking a little downtime, or what did that look like?
Yeah, well, first of all, the trip is so, it's so far
Arduous.
away.
Yeah.
And getting sick and then coming back, my body was just totally discombobulated for a little while. So I didn't force myself back into training, which was good because obviously I was pretty disappointed. So I was happy I was able to restrain myself a little bit. I kind of intended to go to the Hong Kong 100K in January,
Okay.
but because I was just coming off that disappointment, I didn't want to rush myself into it and potentially have another disappointment. So took my time, and yeah, I mean, I did some decent training for this, but definitely not as much as last time. But again, I feel fresh and motivated, certainly, and I'm just excited to go again in the opposite direction this year.
Yeah, I mean, this sport is getting trickier and trickier in that there's no real like off season where everybody rests now. Did you say after Ultra Trail Cape Town, I'm taking a little downtime, I am gonna recover, and now I'm starting this season now? Is this?
Yeah.
Or did you approach it differently?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was trying to balance both states of mind, and that I was disappointed and wanted to capitalize on the fitness that I felt like I had in Cape Town, but I really didn't want to rush into it. So I did take it pretty easy over the holidays.
Okay.
And then
Had some turkey.
yeah, had
and
some turkey. And then at the beginning of this year, I had a little thing with my hamstring that I thought was a pretty serious thing, but ended up being fairly minor.
Okay.
But that basically put me down for a week or two. And so it's sort of been fits and starts. But I've had, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been feeling really good, even though I haven't been training that much. And I think part of that is because I've now been in the sport a long time. And so I benefit more sometimes from rest and shorter training blocks than I do from these really long, intense training blocks. So
Yeah, some sort of different stimulus than you're used to.
right, yeah.
So, it's the 10th anniversary of Tarawera, and you mentioned in one of the unique features of this year's edition is that they've turned the course around. You're finishing in Rotorua, downtown Rotorua, and you're starting at what used to be the finish line. So everything you know about Tarawera, just do it backwards.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think the course is better for me,
Okay.
definitely, just because the first marathon is really, really fast. And then it becomes, I guess, progressively harder throughout the race, or at least the back half is slower terrain than the first half. So it becomes more of a strength race at the end, which I think suits me a little bit more just because I didn't come from, road track kind of background,
Yeah.
and leg speed is something I'm a little, self-conscious, or I kind of lack confidence in. But I think the course as a whole is a great race to start a season because it's a pretty forgiving 100 Ks, and the trails are soft and the weather's usually pretty mild. And so again, it's I think a good race for me to just kind of get the racing juices going again. And going in the opposite direction, I think, is good, just at least to make it feel a little bit more novel, since I had already done it in the opposite direction. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going the opposite way and finishing there at the lake. It looks like the finish line is going to be pretty cool. So, hope I make it. Yeah.
Oh, you'll make it. One of the tricky parts that you mentioned earlier in the interview is the hardship of doing international travel. To come, we're effectively on the other side of the world from our home in the U.S. And, some people can wash off, 15 hours of time difference a little bit easier than others. And some people, their legs get pretty, locked up on long travel. Have you figured out how to do this yet?
Some trips I think are easier than others.
Okay.
And I think it's easier to fly west. I'm lucky in that from San Francisco, I can fly direct most places. If
You are
not
lucky.
direct, I can get most places pretty easy. So even if it's a long flight, oftentimes it's direct, and that was the case with this, just
San Francisco
to Auckland.
Fantastic.
So it's a 14-hour flight. But the time difference is also fairly easy, which is another reason why I think this is a good way to kind of start the season. It's a 21-hour time difference, so it's really only three hours in a day.
Just a different day.
Yeah. So, that makes, I think, the adjustment a little bit easier. But I always have a difficult time racing in Europe, and the jet lag seems to stay in my system.
Long.
Yeah, I never adjust, my sleep schedule well enough, until I get home, and then I can't sleep at home. So I often talk to my wife about how I feel like I'm really sensitive to traveling and the stresses of it. So yeah, I try and hydrate as much as I can, stretch out, stay loose, and
Get a
massage.
Yeah.
Sleep as much as I can. But again, this race is probably the easiest international trip you can do, at least on the world tour. So
Winter trip to New Zealand.
tough life.
Tough life. Good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to chasing you from out of town back to in town again.
Yeah, heck yeah, cool. Thank you so much.
Good luck. I have a bonus question.
Yeah.
Don't think you get to go away yet. So rumor has it that you might have had a little bit of Super Bowl festivities here in New Zealand.
I did, yeah.
Tell me about what happened.
Yeah, so, first of all, I was sober for the month of January.
Sober January. And was this just to try to drop a few pounds, try to like good life habits? What was the purpose?
I think the second or third time I've done it. It's just, I think, a nice way to start the year, especially, after the holidays and stuff. So,
Does that mean you like to enjoy yourself in many capacities over the holidays?
no, I mean, not to excess, but
Okay.
it feels good to, go off the booze for a little while.
Clean the system out.
But the fun thing was that a good friend of mine from college, who's been living in Australia since we graduated, a Colorado boy, he flew up to meet me in Auckland to watch the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So we kind of reminisced like old college days and put a couple back, but it was more mellow than it may have seemed on Instagram. But yeah, it was great too. This is my second time watching the Super Bowl in New Zealand, and
Is that right?
both times have been really fun. And the Patriots won one of them and then lost the second one. So
Really? You watched
Yeah.
the Patriots both times?
yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. Not too much excess the weekend before the race.
No. I mean, had a couple frosty cold ones, but nothing that I think would be a detriment to racing hard on Saturday.
Okay, I'll hold you to that on
Cool.
Saturday.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah.